the backwoods of the Haynesville Shale. I work on oil rigs. I have since I was 20, and I am 33 now. In 2007, I was working for Nomad Drilling. They have since sold out to Patterson, and we were drilling in the Haynesville for natural gas. Anyone who works on rigs knows that the work can take you way off the beaten path from what normal civilization is used to. Some places, you're on ranch roads for an hour before you reach the location, and others you're driving on roads canopied by trees in the backwoods of Louisiana. This happened to me in the latter. We were rigging down after finishing a well, and we were on our last night of the 7-day hitch. About halfway through our 12-hour tour, pronounced tower, and we had pretty much finished and were making sure everything was tied down securely for the rig move. We killed the light plants, and the driller let us knock off early. This area was accessible outside Houghton, La, and the lease was actually on the back of the Barksdale AF base, but we had to leave the way we came in. Driving home at 2 in the morning seemed pretty normal at first, and I made it to the blacktop with no issues. The blacktop was still canopied by trees, and other than the lights from my truck, everything was pitch black. Out of nowhere, still basically in the middle of nowhere, this motherfucker appears almost close enough to get hit on my driver's side. Okay, weird, but even more strange, he was leaning at what I swear was an impossible angle for someone not to tip over. They were stretched, reaching out towards my truck, and what I could see of the face was morbid and twisted. The hairs on the back of my neck raised, and I gasped it to speed back closer to society. It was about a 2-hour drive home, and I felt off the rest of the trip. More oddly, I was working over on a separate occasion with one of the crews that work when I'm home, and another hand was talking about a very similar, if not identical experience. I don't know who or what I saw, and the face could have been a blur from relative distance, speed, and the time I actually saw them, but who is out that late and why? If someone was broke down, I could see them trying to flag me down, but this didn't seem to be the case here. Creature on the Georgia/Alabama line. I come from a family of hunters. It was not uncommon for my mom and stepdad to go out early morning and not come home until well into the night on occasion. In rural Georgia, it is fairly common for landowners to lease out their acres for hunting to different folks depending on the seasonality and the type of hunting they are doing, and deer season for archers begins at the end of the summer. My mother has this story that I loved to hear as a child that as an adult had a horrifying twist. One afternoon, my parents struck out to hunt for the day. The land they leased that particular year ran alongside a power line route. These routes are clear-cut through woods and create a man-made field. A hunter can set their tree stands up in the thickets surrounding these fields and wait for grazing animals to come by. Around dusk, my mom started to look out for my stepdad to come and pick her up. He would usually help her get situated in her stand, then go and find his own setup further down the trail. As the sun began to sink, she saw him walking down through the power line clearing. My stepdad is a brolic type man that has a wide gait in his walk. He swings his arms a bit as he walks. I mean, it's kind of similar to a caveman to me. Even in the low sinking light, she could make out his silhouette and could see that he was zigzagging from side to side of the clear-cut field. He'd obviously forgotten where they had set her stand up and was trying to find her, so she stood up and waved her hands to get his attention. At that moment, the creature she thought was my stepdad noticed her. It dropped down to all fours and darted into the woods, making a strange low growl as it did. She waited for what seemed like an eternity for my stepdad to come and get her. She was terrified and in tears. This was a story shared many times in my childhood when I asked for a scary hunting story. They have plenty of them. It's not that I didn't believe my mom, but we all know that the night can play tricks on us and heighten our imagination, so when I asked for this story in my teenage years, imagine my surprise when my stepdad spoke up. A man of few words, and a lack of imagination, he raised his head at the dinner table. I've never told either of you this, but I think I probably should. That night, the creature wasn't running away from your mother. I was walking along the line of the woods towards her tree stand when I noticed it. I smelled it before I actually saw the thing. It had a pungent odor, almost skunk-like, and it seemed to be a little over 6 feet tall, covered in thick coarse hair. It saw me about the same time as I was drawing back an arrow to take aim. At first, it growled, then dropped to all fours and sprinted towards me as I released the arrow, knocking it in the arm. I was shaking and just missed the intended hit. The animal veered to the side and kept running. To this day, I wonder what the creature was. Thanks for watching Reddit Slime. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.